There we go.
All right.
Hello, we're live with the More About Jesus podcast here on YouTube. We're about to start doing the actual recording, but we're glad you're here. If you're watching on YouTube, give a like, put some comments in, or not. No pressure. We're just glad you're here. So, I'm good to go whenever you want.
Sure thing. Yeah, I can start it up. And I am not orange this week. That's great.
Yeah,
or
no,
not
that's
as
pretty
orange.
decent. But now you got janky internet, but that's all right.
Yeah, I do have janky internet. I got a bad internet cable. So hopefully it lasts. We shall see. And hitting the record button now.
It's another Friday night, and Al and Daniel are back for another More About Jesus podcast. This is season 2, but we're already on episode 3. So I'm Al Martins, and I'm here with my cousin Daniel Dunbar.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a good couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, there was an awesome little interview Alan did last week that was up on our YouTube channel and up on our podcast with Rachel Knight, a.k.a. Lark, a.k.a. Library Knight.
Yeah, she has a lot of hats. But yeah, no, that was really fun. I've known Lark for a while, and she's like a daughter to me, like already before I did that interview. But I was... I don't know. It was just great to get to know her a little more and hear the stuff she had to say. I'm excited about hearing people being excited about their faith in new ways like that. That's why I do it. But yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Did you get really warm in Edmonton like it did here this week?
Like
Thursday we were like plus 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yeah, we hit like 8 degrees like at nighttime. Like it was like 6 degrees when I went to bed. In the middle of the night, it hit like 10 degrees and went up to 8 degrees at night, like in the middle of the night. So it was just like waking up to like rivers everywhere and our snow melting like crazy.
It was so wet. Yeah.
Yeah, and parking lots just becoming absolute skating rinks.
Yeah. Oh, and then the next day, like people couldn't come in and out of my plant because it was pure ice. When I backed out of my driveway, my car spun around like I wasn't even going fast. I was like a figure skater in my little car.
You're taking in the Olympic sport of synchronized driving.
Yeah. Oh, and I know that if you had someone trying to, those fail blogs with guys sliding down the. Oh yeah, could have had a lot of video. I should have been out to watching in the morning with my camera. I'm sure there was a few good crashes.
Set up a phone and just like let it run and just let the camera go. Yeah,
it's nice. Feels like spring. Today felt more like winter again, but whatever. I'll take the warm days. That's for sure.
Yeah. Did you get the crazy wind as well?
Yeah, that day it was so warm. It was so windy.
Yeah.
But higher up,
and then
not in my face. Yeah. It was just I could hear it whistling above my head.
Yeah. So it was like super windy like yesterday and last night as the temperature was changing again.
Mm-hmm.
And so this morning, on top of the skating rink, which is my alleyway, everybody's garbage cans that they don't put up by their houses were also throughout the alley. So you're figure skating around pylons. All the way down the alley in order to get to work this morning. I was just like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it was cold today too. But hey, I'm kind of getting used to it. It's a bit of a misery, but it's also life in Canada.
Yeah, right? And it's not minus 20. Like when we're saying it's cold, it's like we're hitting like 0.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. It's not minus 20. We're not stuck at minus 20. Our igloos aren't melting.
So you were talking about having to do a motherboard upgrade and a new processor. We just did that with my son's computer. We actually had to bring it into a place to have them look it over, but
Oh
most
yeah,
of the upgrades I've it's literally now the only thing left in the computer is the box. Like the
yeah.
box and the disk drive. So his whatever disk reader drive, which I guess you hardly use nowadays, but
Oh, like did he have like a DVD drive or
yeah,
like an
like
actual
yeah.
like
So
three and
it
a
was
half
a decent one, but we
floppy?
don't use like that's not a thing we upgrade because he
Nobody uses
doesn't.
it.
Yeah, yeah, we just use it to put in the disk for your printer or whatever. But even that I don't
Yeah,
use because you could usually find it online. But yeah,
yeah.
with the
Actually,
change of the motherboard and the new processor, now everything in his computer is completely replaced, and it's working really good actually.
nice, nice. I had a friend who upgraded his studio computer, and then he was still having issues. And what it was the DVD drive was actually causing the computer to bog down. And as soon as he unplugged that, the speed in the computer just went way up.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't even make
So
sense. It's like a curse or something.
yeah, and he said it doesn't really make sense to him either. But it's something in the drive was causing it to bog down the computer. Like there was something corrupt in the program in the drive or something. He couldn't quite explain how or why, and he's built tons of computers, and he's just like it was doing a thing, and as soon as he unplugged it, that thing stopped, and so it's just like nobody uses that drive anyway.
Should
It's
have
just
called
there sitting.
Ghostbusters, obviously.
Yeah, well, just it's taking up a bay so that you don't get dust getting into your computer. That's all. So
Just water.
what kind of motherboard and processor did you wind up
He
going with?
got he went with almost top end Ryzen stuff. That's
Nice.
so he now he's playing yeah whatever he wants on the highest settings, and he's able to stream and move through all that, and he's got 16 gigs of RAM, so it goes pretty fast.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. 16
I
gigs. I
need
don't
to
think I'd do
upgrade
anything with.
eventually too, but
Yeah.
I
My
have lots of RAM, but I don't have the graphics capability. But now that I'm playing World of Warcraft again, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a bit more of a boost to my graphics
yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. My
processing so I could do other, because I like to play and watch shows. So that's my thing. If
yeah,
I'm
that'll
up at
really
5 in
bog.
the morning, I'm usually playing a game. Well, it's quite often through with my Switch through capture card, and then I can watch whatever. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of have a janky old graphics drive, so if I use like for whatever reason Netflix freezes my computer, but
Really?
Disney Plus doesn't. So yeah,
Yeah. The thing I hate about Disney Plus on my computer is that I have to watch it through Microsoft Edge. It does not work through Google Chrome for some reason.
oh that's weird. Yeah,
And I don't know why. It's like I tried it and it's like your web browser doesn't support. I'm like, what? And so it's like Microsoft Edge. The only thing I use it for is if I want to watch Disney Plus. So
we got Roku upstairs, so that's oh I love having that. Like I don't have TV. Like I haven't had TV for well years now.
yeah.
Like paying for
Yeah.
cable or whatever.
No,
We just
no.
stream, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've got a giant Roku in our living room, and it's yeah. We Disney, Netflix. One of our kids is paying for the Netflix and Disney, and then Amazon Prime.
Crunchyroll.
That's,
That's another one we have, but that's because we kind of into anime too much.
yeah, Josiah, our oldest, has got Crunchyroll. I don't know if he still has it or not. He moved out, and
Yeah, you should be able
I
to use it
yeah,
still. He
I
probably
should, but
uses your Netflix.
oh, he does, but it's whether or not he still has it. He may have canceled it. So because yeah, money things. So
Kids nowadays, eh? What can you do with them?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, looking to upgrade all my computers. Like my studio computer is pretty old, and then my laptop that I because I mean it's so old that I actually have to record everything on my studio computer, and then all my streaming stuff for Discord for in order to do this is actually through my laptop, and my laptop is like 10 years old, and so everything needs an upgrade in here. So it's like, do I just buy like a really good laptop and use that as a studio computer as well, or do I upgrade both and sort of split the difference?
Do a GoFundMe. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, go fund
Those
me.
only work for when you have a real annoying cause that wants to rile people up. Just say you're going to use it to fight against the system or whatever, or um, something against the prime minister. Then you'll get lots of money.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But that's not what Jesus would do. So that's not
No,
what I'm gonna do.
no, there you go. Back to
There
that.
you go. No,
Speaking of which,
yeah,
people get angry about stuff, right? And I'm
yeah.
before I read this our section today, I'll tell you right off the hop that I spent most of my for the last 30 years as an angry person in general. Um, I can't even remember when I kind of came to the realization that something's wrong. Right, like this can't be right to be angry all the time. It to the point where when I don't know if you've seen the first Avengers movie,
Hmm.
and there's that scene where Banner says that that's my secret. I'm always angry. I
Yeah.
think yeah, and then he turns into Hulk, and that's me. That almost made me cry watching that. I mean, it's a cool
Uh,
part, but I'm like, it hit me like into my heart. I'm like, that was me for a long time.
mm,
Anyways, but that so this topic will be pretty close to me in a lot of ways and for other reasons. But anyways, I'll read it. I'm gonna read Matthew 5:21 and 22. So it's just two verses to try to break down today. But there's more in this whole subject. But I don't know if we can get through more. We'll try. But you've heard that our ancestors were told, "You must not murder. If you commit murder, You are subject to judgment. But I say, if you are even angry with someone, you are subject to judgment. If you call someone an idiot, you are in danger of being brought before the court. And if you curse someone, you are in danger of the fires of hell." So this is the first of those ones where Jesus amps it up, right? Where he's like, "You've heard it said,
mhm.
but I tell you." So in a way, this Jesus was the first deconstructionist, to use a buzzword that they say nowadays.
The buzzword
They're
of the day
changing
is
stuff. He was like, "Okay, you've heard this, now this." But I mean, of course, he was Jesus. He
yeah,
could do that.
yeah, yeah,
But that's quite a step, right? So let's bring it home right away at the beginning of the discussion. Road rage. I I still have that in me that I fight. I stop it, but I talk. Like, so what I like to do, like when someone cuts me off, I don't swear or nothing, but I get like, "Oh yeah, good job, buddy. Nice, thank you for that."
Oh, so you're gonna do the passive aggressive
Yeah,
happy clap, right?
yeah. Oh no, no, no. Don't worry about it. You could just cut me off. I don't mind. But everybody inside your heart, you're thinking, "What an idiot," right? This guy's a crappy driver. And Jesus is saying that when I get to that point, even if I'm not
Yeah.
swearing or yelling or my temper, maybe my face isn't red, but there's that
Hmm.
level of anger in me because of this towards a human being. It's
Yeah.
just like
An image
it's
bearer of
like I
God.
killed him. It's just like I killed him.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And that's hard, right? Because now it cuts right to the heart of the very issue, like right to it. It's like, what's your motive? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's tough because yeah, I mean, I bang my fingers at work, and I swear I'll admit it. Um,
Heck yeah.
yes,
Working
I,
guys
I
do that. Just hey, we don't want to blow your expectation. So if this was the podcast with the kids who went right from high school to Bible school to becoming a youth pastor to be a pastor, then that's different. But we're the guys who work in the real world every day, and I'm not trying to diss them. I'm just saying most of us have some colorful speech once in a while because we hear it all day, right?
yeah, and I'm trying really really hard not to have any. Like I really am trying not to do any like
Yeah,
swearing and stuff because
I
it's just
catch
it's
myself, and
not
I feel
setting you
like that's a
apart.
victory, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's not setting you apart, but it's also like this scripture. Even reading this in preparation for this week, I'm like, okay, I can't get angry at the apprentice when he does something stupid. It's like I need to um, uh, take it and use it as a teaching time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't just be like, you're an idiot. What the heck do you think you're doing? It's like, okay, well, let's figure out why you thought that was a good idea, right? And it's so it changes your mindset because now it's no longer. And again, this is sort of like I think we discussed it last time where it's like, when or one of the other episodes where it's like when you're praying for somebody else, it's not about them changing; it's about how you're changing to help them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that that we came up with, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, no, that's pretty much it right there." It's like, so this is the same thing. It's like I shouldn't get angry at so and so for doing that. Let's try to teach this. Let's see if this is a teaching thing or not, right? And that would work within a work context. But how does that also work? Say like the idiot who cut you off on the
Yeah.
way to work, right? And or idiot drivers that are out there. It's like, you know,
Yeah, like you're tailgating me and you're fighting to get to the same red light that you dodge
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Oh, I actually used to be so passive aggressive. If someone did that where they were racing around like the Indy 500 to get, and they're at the red light, and I pull up beside them, I'd go like this. Congratulations, genius! You won the race. You won the race. You spent more gas, and you raised your
Yeah.
blood pressure to get to the red light
you
before me.
need to get
I'm
like
proud
one
of
of
you. I
those little
really am proud of you.
you need to get one of those little red checker flags and wave and wave it on a stick and be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
good job, buddy."
yeah. You're awesome. I'll send you your prize in the mail.
That would be kind of funny, but I don't know if that, I don't know if that would be very biblical and be.
No, and see
I
now
don't
I
think that would
still
be
have a
Jesus.
habit of talking at other people driving, and sometimes it's
Yeah,
sarcastic. Sometimes I'm just being funny, but it's what's in my heart that matters. That's the point I'm trying to get at, and that Jesus
yeah,
is trying to get at is that it's not. I mean, he's not saying you might as well just kill the guy because it's the same thing.
hmm
Because obviously it's worse. It's
yeah,
worse if you
yeah.
take someone's life. That's worse.
That
But
that would be worse, but Jesus at this point right now, just like sin is sin.
yeah, you're
I don't
doing
know
the
if he
wrong
if
thing.
that I don't know if that's what he's meaning here, but it's just like it doesn't matter. Um, if you call somebody an idiot, you're just as guilty as if you had killed somebody in the eyes of God. I would say so. And I mean the message is pretty similar to the translation that you had. Was it? Did you use the NLT,
That
New
was
Living?
New Living, yeah.
That was the New Living. Yeah, because the message is pretty close to that. I mean, it fleshes it out just a little bit more. And again, in the analog version, you're familiar with the command to the ancients: "Do not murder." I'm telling you that anyone who is so much as angry with a brother or sister is guilty of murder. Carelessly call a brother idiot, and you just might find yourself hauled into court. Thoughtlessly yell stupid and at a sister, and you are on the brink of hellfire. The simple moral fact is that words kill.
Hmm.
Now I
Simple
can get
fact
behind
is
that.
that words kill.
Words kill. Now, if I, so say I go to my local 7-Eleven and there's a robbery in progress and I just happen to be in the doorway and the guy accidentally shoots me and runs away. I'm shot. I get picked up by the ambulance. I go to the hospital. I get healed. That's something temporary. I'll heal from that. However, I still carry around scars in my heart from things that have been said to me out of malice and hatred
Mm-hmm.
in my youth, years, decades before, that affect how I live now. Those scars,
Hmm.
those scars are the ones that are hard to
Wow,
get
that's
by,
a super good point.
right?
I was thinking
So
about
when,
that too when I read it this time, and I hadn't until just today. If you call someone an idiot, I think of what it must be like for a child to grow up with their dad or their mom calling him an idiot all the time
yeah,
on the
right.
regular. You're an idiot. Oh, wow.
And even like say like my
He'll come back. Your cord went out or something. That's not a
or
bad.
not.
Oh, there we go. Okay, say it again because you went out. Your internet went out.
Oh, I was going to say that what I was saying is like with my apprentice, if I'm calling him an idiot or them an
Mm-hmm.
idiot, that's not going to make them perform better at their job, have
No.
more confidence in their job, or being able to excel. Or, you know, I'm just doing nothing but beating them down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How is that building them up? How is that being more Christ-like?
Yeah. That's one. I can't remember where it is, but Paul said it. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only for what is helpful for building others up.
Yeah.
And I used to, when I read that when I was young, I thought it meant don't say swear words.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really about that. It's about tearing down or building up.
Yeah. And you know, and if you're a negative person all the time and all you're doing is tearing down other people, nobody's going to want to hang around with you for one, because all you're going to do is tear down people. And that's not showing Jesus's love. It's like how I mean, people are not going to look at you and be like, "Oh, this person's obviously a Christian by how they tear down everybody around them." Maybe they do think that. Maybe they think that's what Christians do.
Well, they do, but
And
is
it's
that what Jesus follower
that's the
does?
bad thing. That's because that is what Christians do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Knowing people who work in the service industry, right? They cringe every time, Sunday afternoon rolls around and they're waiting on tables, and all of a sudden the church crew rolls in with a whole bunch of Karens with them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just like, ah!
Yeah, and
And
like I said, I was guilty of being the judgmental guy, the one that was always angry about stuff. I mean, I also was angry about other things because of my own disabilities and stuff. But I literally was angry from a Christian perspective too. Like, so one a good example that's in the news, not the news, in the Twitterverse and other places. And I won't mention the guy's name, but I already did on our Discord. So if you want more details, a famous Christian singer from a band has been cutting down the deconstruction movement, which I mean is another topic, and we should probably talk about it someday. But I guess I've mentioned it, and on our Discord we talk about it. But he's very angrily coming against it and calling it a false religion and fighting. And today, some of the footage I saw, he said like, you know who needs to shut up? It's these people. You know who else needs to shut up? Is these people, and they should just shut up. And it's funny because he gets mad about people, telling him to shut up, but then but whatever. So he's angry. And then there's angry responses to him. So right now, the Christian Twitterverse is angry versus angry. And I
yeah,
couldn't help but thinking that. So when I tweeted something, it was like, I really think that the root of his anger comes from fear. Because personally, I used to respond in anger to uh, theology and teaching that I thought was detrimental or would tear the church apart, or like if we move towards this way, it's down the slide to hellfire.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it can't ever touch my theology, and you should think like me. And so I was always angry and pushing, and I called, like I said, Bible bully. So that, but I think it came from fear, to be honest,
Mm.
as a root, and that's just my opinion. And so perfect love casts out fear. But I don't know what I wanted to know what you thought of that take on anger. I mean, we've said now, like I think people see Christians fighting on Twitter and think, okay, well, gee, can I join your club so we can all
And
yell
that's
at each other all the time?
yeah, and that's one of the things that the unbelieving world finds so unbelievable about Christianity is the fact that we can't get along.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many arguments and everything else, and it's like and I'll put a plug out there for my brother and the Grand Forks Gospel Chapel podcast. If you want to listen to that, there's one in there that is the episode of How We Have Died,
Hmm.
and he's and a powerful. I've listened to it a few times now. A powerful sermon, and it's like the greatest. How did he say that? The greatest thing the church has to face right now is the fact that we are divided. It's not COVID. That's not our problem. It's not the world issues that we have right here. That's not our problem. It's the fact that we are not united. We are a divided church
Hmm.
across the nation, right? And that, I mean, like I said, I've had to listen to that thing a few times because it's just every time I listen to it, I get something else out of it, and it's
Oh,
just
I know. I want to listen again and go through and write quotes down. And if
yeah,
you're listening to this and you're not in our Discord, you can get in there, and we share this kind of stuff in our Discord. All the
yeah,
links to things that inspire us to be more like Jesus and to
yeah.
yeah. And
And we
that
actually,
sermon, that's if I could take, I think everyone should listen to it. I really do.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because that was like that's one of those moments where the pastor gets up there and is like, "Okay, I had something planned, but God said no, we're doing this," and it's like one of those God-inspired sermons, and it's just like I felt it the whole time.
I've heard a
So
lot of men over the years give me a lot of biblical information, which is good, but it's fine. It's not bad. But I've heard very seldom, and it's always changed my life when a guy preaches like it's from the heart, from the Holy Spirit, and
yeah,
every word nails you right to where you need to hear it.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's preaching.
yeah,
But
and it was like very short. I mean, I guess I had to watch it again last night to grab some quotes for tonight, and uh, and for 22 minutes, it's nothing but scripture readings,
yeah,
and then the last 10 minutes is the talk, and that's it.
yeah.
In 10 minutes, he summed it all up, and I was just like, wow, that was incredible.
Shout out to Doug Dunbar.
Yes.
They used to call him Little Al back in the day when we were Striper twins.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
The, the
so
both
that
of you.
I love this where we're going with this, and it's not, and we got to confess that we're angry too. But I guess, I mean, so Jesus uses the term idiot, but in modern terms, someone does something that you think is dumb on Twitter, and you put a GIF up or you attack them with some kind of meme to make them look stupid because you don't agree, or you just call them an idiot. I mean, it's I think we're going the wrong direction with that. I really do. Even though I still follow some of that stuff, but I kind of it's easier for me to monitor on Twitter. I'm off of Facebook, I'm off of Instagram, I'm off all those things now, and it's helped me feel more at peace. And now you know why. It's because I get sucked into that, and my Martin's hackles get like, oh, I gotta fight this. I gotta fight this. But now I'm
Fighting
being,
against the old self.
yeah, I'm not fighting the world now. I'm just fighting against the need to fight. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I'm good with that. You guys can do whatever.
yeah.
But we got to have something to replace it. So what can change this anger in us? And I'm going to read another thing. This is from Family Devotions. We were reading through First John. And this is, I think, a counter to this anger. It's love that has to happen, right? God is love. This is actually First John 5, starting at verse 17. God is love. When we take up permanent residence in a life of love, we live in God and God lives in us. This way, love has the run of the house, becomes at home and mature in us, so that we're free to worry. We're We're free of worry on Judgment Day. Our standing in the world is identical to Christ's. There's no room for love for fear. Well-formed love banishes fear, since fear is crippling. A fearful life, fear of death, fear of judgment, is one not yet fully formed in love. We, though we are going to love and be loved. First we were loved, now we love. He first loved us.
Mm.
The command we have from Christ is blunt. Loving God includes loving people. You've got to love both. Dang, that one still gets me. The command from Christ is blunt.
Hmm.
Loving God means loving people.
Yeah,
And I don't think that the people that are easy to love, it's all the people. The people he made, you're called to love. So when you're angry at him and call him an idiot, that's the opposite.
yeah,
It's an unrealistic standard. It's crazy. Right? We've all
yeah.
failed. So
And
not a person listening to this podcast or speaking in this podcast has ever fulfilled this perfectly.
no, no. Let's see. My name's Daniel, not Jesus. So yeah, no, I've failed.
But that doesn't mean we give up. So
No, I mean
make
that's
it a
that's
goal,
that's
whatever. Something.
yeah, exactly, and that's the whole reason for one with this podcast, two these writings on in the Sermon on the Mount. This is Jesus trying to tell us how to be how to have more right living with God, right? How to be right living with everybody else. I mean, God made people in his image. So we are his image bearers. Everybody's made in the image of God. When you look at somebody else, that's another image of God. So if you're calling that person an idiot, you're calling an image of God idiot. You're saying basically God made an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
How does that strike you? That you're telling God that this person over here is an idiot. Who are you to judge?
Yeah, and I guess empathy would have us walk a mile in everyone's shoes, thinking of why. And I guess that's why I was almost surprised at myself, in the sense that when I saw this Twitter fight about this Christian singer, that was my actual first response, was
Mm.
empathy. I thought, oh, okay, crap, they're really ripping him apart here. But I know that he has so many fans that are 100% behind him.
Yeah.
And these other people are ripping him apart. And so I might agree with one side or the other. It doesn't matter. It's just, I think, why? And then that's when I remembered what it used to feel like when I was a fundamentalist and very strong on my theology in certain areas. I had
Mhm.
fear, and so I thought, man, I feel almost bad, and I think that was a love response, and I can't take credit for that as because I'm a super Christian guy. It's because the Holy Spirit's been working in my heart to change me, and I've been open to that change. Um, which is actually the heart of deconstruction. It's if system reboot is what I call it. I think we need a better term like changing, being transformed by the renewing of your mind, the changing the way you think.
Yeah.
I think that has to
No.
happen if you want to grow as a Christian. So if
Yeah.
you're open
And
to it, okay, wait, I was wrong about this stuff. I was wrong to be angry about this stuff. It's not that big a deal.
yeah, and that's, and this whole deconstruction thing, it's nothing new. This has happened time and time again throughout church history, that people have been like, because you look at the whole deconstruction thing, it's like, okay, we're questioning what our faith is. We're questioning, is this real? We're questioning everything about it. And you know what? That has to happen. I mean, it happens all the time with people. The thing is, though, when you because you have like the three stages. You have construction, which was at the very beginning, so that's you building up your initial faith and everything else. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have, at some point, you are going to have some sort of deconstruction where you start questioning whether or not this is real. That's human, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't go to the next step, which is reconstruction, where you've gone through,
Mm-hmm.
you've asked all these questions, you have come up with answers, or you've searched for answers, or you've had counsel or anything else on getting reconstructed back, right? That's where a lot of people are failing. Now, is that also because people are failing at that because churches have been closed for 2 years and nobody knew what to do? So now you have a whole nation of people that are now like, is this real?
Mm-hmm.
Because churches of, the majority of churches only have right now about 20 to 30% of their average what they had pre pandemic, right? And so we have major issues here, with people, and they're like, well, is God real or anything like that? Because where was he through the pandemic? Or, why did this happen? Or why did this happen? Why did God let this happen? Questions going on, and history is replete with stuff like this happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also a step towards actual revival that's going to be coming, because people are ripping everything down. Now they're going to get into the actual, like, this is the meat and potatoes. This is what it actually means. This is what we need to do. This is how Jesus is. Let's do this. Like, people are going to get away from, um, just the Sunday morning service. They're going to, I think people are starting to realize that Christianity needs to be lived out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and celebrate with your friends on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, eh?
That's my view, and that's my hope for this deconstruction or system reboot, whatever you want to call it, will in fact be a revival. Because every time that this has happened,
Reformation.
this is,
That's what they called it when Martin Luther did it.
yeah.
How ballsy
And,
do you got to be to stand as one man against the whole church system, all of
because you're like,
Christianity? You're all wrong.
Jesus and the Pharisees.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy.
He was one guy. He's like, okay, you guys are doing this wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Every story
And they
that he
killed him for
told,
it.
yeah, that's
And
right.
then you look at the apostles, and they're, put up against the high priest and stuff like that. The high priests are like, shut up about this person you named Jesus. Don't talk about him. You're not allowed to talk about him. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's what's happening right now, even with castle culture and everything else. It's like, no, you have to be quiet. You can't talk about that. Stop talking. It's like, this has been happening for over 2,000 years.
Hmm.
So we're still here.
Yeah, I don't know why we like to do that as Christians, try to hide behind
Yeah.
these
I'm
walls of silence that, okay, you can't talk about that, can't talk about this.
Yeah. What are we afraid of here in the Western culture?
Well, we're
Being
afraid to
called
share
names,
our
hurting our
we're
feelings.
afraid to share our weaknesses and our failings as a church. which I
Yeah.
think would be a good step to start admitting some of those things and not hide, because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
do mess up a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah.
we
And
see
I
it
think that's where my
all the
I think
time.
that's where my church is at right now too, because it's like, well, we're sucking at this, and why? So we're looking really hard at our weaknesses and stuff. It's like, why aren't people coming back? Why aren't you know
Some
what's
are taking this time to reboot, to think, okay,
yeah.
let's turn it all off, start again, and put back the
But when you
things
re
that we know are most important.
yeah, when you reboot though, you got to turn it back
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
You don't just wipe out your hard drive and turn it off and throw it
yeah.
away.
Sometimes I think of it as a puzzle, I mean, I guess, to use an example you'd love is building a car. I mean, if the motor's not working, maybe you have to rip the whole motor apart, but don't throw it all out. Lay it out all on a table, right? I don't know if you knew this about our Uncle Neil. So
Oh,
uh,
yes, I do.
he took his Harley apart every winter
Every winter.
and his garage. And I saw
Mhm.
into the garage. He didn't let us go in when I was young, but I saw in
Yeah.
there and it was all laid out perfectly. And he took it down to the screw. Every single piece of his Harley he took apart and then put it back together again.
Yeah. And ready for the next season.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, like that's a hobby or what? I don't know. That's wild. But
Well, I mean,
if you
back
want
with
to
those all
rebuild something, sometimes you got to take it right apart and, okay, let's make sure all the parts are here. Let's put it back
yeah.
together the right way. And oh, what's this piece? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say with those old Harleys is that you had to do that. That was just routine maintenance, or those things fell apart all the time anyway.
Yeah, probably. Well, he
they,
had a
they were not
stock
the
one,
best
didn't he?
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, yeah. Yeah. You look at the Harleys back then, they were not the best made way back then. This is like early 80s.
But even to start that process, you have to at some point think, okay, something's not right here. Like for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
it started just in church in a service,
Hmm.
and I knew things about people because of, well, empathy. I'm a bit of an empath when it comes to seeing people that are dealing with mental illness, because I've lived with stuff like that for a long time, or families that are stressed. I can see it. And because I have a heart that's thinking of those things, and because the sermon was boring or whatever, or
Hmm.
because it's like 20 minutes of announcements and I wanted, so I think of things to do. I look around, see the people, and I see people dying. Like I see people in a
Mm.
service with 250 people, or whatever, who are, and there's some people you look, they're on their last rope. They're like just barely keeping their head above water. And what are we giving them? It just struck me. It's like, okay, so we sing some cool songs. That's nice. It's really
Hmm.
cool when you're together and you can feel an energy and all that. But it's still just music, to be honest. And I mean the Holy Spirit, what it moves through music. I'm not. I mean, I was a worship leader for a long time, since I was 12 to I was 50. So I'm not throwing that out at all. Never would. That would I mean I used to think that was the only part of church worth being, because announcements, 20 minutes of announcements, whatever, and it's less in some places, and then some biblical information, and Bob's your uncle. And what
Yeah.
did we do to help that person that is like barely keeping their head above water? What have we done? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Well, they should be in a small group, or someone's got to reach out. But no one does. They talk about garbage and talk about Tim Hortons and whatever, and talk about how dumb the prime minister is, and we're no
Yeah.
different than guys in a coffee shop in the foyer.
Yeah, and that's something that I believe has to change within the Christian church, right? I mean, that's something that I would think needs a good system reboot, right? A nice system reboot right in the butt. Is that
I mean,
is
that's
that
my personal experience. I'm not saying, because some people go to the same
yeah,
place and they think it's great and they feel enriched and encouraged. And like you
yeah,
said, it's a celebration and they go out to their Christian lives and they're very fruitful and they grow. but
And that's
there are
yeah,
people more and more who go to these services that want something else or different. And it's not that they are attacking anyone, it's
mm-hmm,
because they think there's more out there they could do better to help people or whatever. And they're not being accommodated, they're being pushed away as divisive.
mm,
It's like, how can we love these people better? Nah, we don't talk about that, dealing with that. How can we
yeah.
love women better, make them be a more part of our, maybe they should be elders. And then there's red flag, put up a wall instead of discussing it, talking about it. And that's not the fight I'm going to make here. I'm actually not even fighting about that anymore. But it's a good example of how those things can make us angry at each other right away,
Yeah.
which is, again, it's the
Unfortunate.
same as murder.
Yeah. Yeah. And, calling other churches idiots and stuff is just.
Yeah, yeah, different denominations. I mean, that's how it's going to
And
be, right?
yeah, yeah. Like I get on the Sunday morning. That's our main connection point, though. Like, I mean, that's one thing that, and then why Sunday morning as well? Like, why did that change? And you got to look at all the history of the church
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and Paul goes into some of that stuff as well. Um, as I forget what it was in one of the other readings, and anyway, uh, rabbit trail that I'm not going to go quite down just yet. But it's I believe for me, Sunday morning is when we all gather together, and then we can share stories with each other. I mean, we should be doing that of Christ throughout the week. Um, Usually, we just are too scared to do that, and we wind up talking about sports ball teams, and Tim Hortons coffee or something, something like that, right? And um, because we're too scared to open up about anything. It's like, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing okay. And it's like, actually, we're pretty crappy. We're scared to be open. Like you said, we're scared to be vulnerable and weak with people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's stupid
With each
that we
other
do
and
that.
especially with the world. We don't want them to know we make
Yeah, yeah.
mistakes.
We because we figure that our weakness will make us a target,
Mm-hmm.
and people are looking to tear us down at any point. So why do we why do we think that way?
Fear.
Exactly.
I'm starting to think that fear is the root of all of that all the time.
Yeah. Well, we're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of being outcast. We're afraid of not having any friends. We're afraid of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid of losing our jobs if we step out. We're afraid of people looking at us like we're freaks.
But people see my beard and they're distracted, so that's not a problem.
I can distract them with the shiny bits of my head.
Flash like not if they have shades on.
That's right. Future's so bright. Gotta wear shades.
No, I like, but I want to get back to what you said farther back about how the words that are bad and tearing someone apart
Yeah.
can really scar us for a long time. So when you see all these interactions on Twitter, what other media you're on, or maybe even in person, or maybe in a family, telling. I mean, we used to say sticks and stones will hurt my bones and names will never hurt me, but it's actually the opposite, like you said.
Yeah.
It's the words that have
Leave a
lots of
lasting
impact.
wound.
Yeah, yeah, that only
They
Christ can
cut
heal,
right through the bone to the soul.
and only Christ can deal with that and heal that. But then even 20 years later, whatever. I
20,
mean, I
30,
am 54 and I
40.
still have insecurities about a lot of things from that it makes me feel like I'm 12 again or whatever.
Yeah, like I mean, how many times I get reminded of something pops into my head and it just reminds me of a regret I had when I was like a teenager or whatever, right? And I was like, man, I was such an idiot back then, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm learning slowly to forgive myself for being a Bible bully. And I'm loving not to try to make up for it. I'm loving just because it's the right thing to do.
Mm.
Hopefully. Yeah. I want to read that again. So this is like, if we want to, the one thing I want to take from most of this, because we're going to be angry no matter what. It's going to happen. I'll still say something mouthy to someone who cuts me off or whatever. But most of that's in good humor now. What's in my heart? Am I really getting angry at the person tailgating me? No. Just relax. It's okay. They'll go around if they need to. If not, whatever. You could say hi to them at the red light. But it this anger comes from fear of things falling apart and perfect love casts out fear. But when it
Mm.
comes to love and being angry, it's about people. You have to love people. That it's just the command we have from Christ is blunt. Loving God includes loving people. You've got to love both. He says it so plainly, and it's the reality of it.
Mm.
He doesn't say certain people and in other parts of the Bible, Jesus says, sure, you love your family or whatever, those close to you, but big deal. Everybody does that. Even sinners do that. Loving your enemies. We'll get to that in this as we keep moving through the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus calls for better. Am I trying at least to do better? That's my push. What's your push? What do you want people to leave with? Did I steal yours?
No, I just so my biggest thing is be careful what you say to one another.
Yeah.
Like really think about what you're going to say before you say it. And try not to say anything out of anger, out of malice, out of frustration. Um, and because it can cut, words cut, and yeah, like Alan said, Jesus can heal that, and I know he's still healing a lot of things in me, from things that people have said to me that have cut and make me feel insecure and unworthy, and um, so I've had to deal with a lot of my own things, uh, growing up and stuff, and more often than not, to be quite honest, it was people who were in churches that hurt me the worst. It wasn't the world. It was Christians actually who hurt me more than the world ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think that they love you, you think that um, they're going to be kind to you, and then all of a sudden it's like they say or do something or treat you a way, that quite frankly the world does a better job of it than they can, and it cuts and it hurts, and I'm still having to deal with that. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people out there are also feeling the same way, and that's also why they are deconstructing. um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have left churches not because of God, but because of churchgoers treating them badly. And yeah, I'm saying we don't be doormats to people as well. Um, but be careful of how you act and how you treat and how you talk to other people,
Yeah.
because it does matter. And Jesus said it. It does matter. Words can kill.
Yeah. There's power in words, and beyond that, communication. We could even say. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be thoughtful, and it's helping me to have just that one social media because I don't want to be reactionary, which happens quite a bit in social media or
Hmm.
comments. You want to send a send, and if you don't compose it properly, and so Twitter actually it doesn't have an edit option, so you got it forces you if you want to say something. I mean, some people still rage or whatever, but if
Yeah.
I'm doing a thread on something, I have to be careful and I check it over. Do I really want to say that? If I could do that with my words, heck, I'd be doing pretty good. But I don't often do that. It's just definitely a learning process.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish more people did exactly what you're doing on social media, where they do I really want to say that before I hit send?
Hmm.
That's a good practice to have.
Well, and I'm thinking of because I run my account, but I also do it in association with the Twitter, which you can see on this YouTube. At More About Jesus 3 on Twitter. I run
Yeah.
that account too. And so I represent not just me, but I feel you and our community when I post things there. I'm not just going to
Hmm.
react and do stuff. So I'm trying to not even it's not a promotion. I don't do that to try to gain followers or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just an expression of what we're learning and working through and how we're sharpening each other. But I think of that. But if you really want to take that another level, as a Christian, you represent Jesus. As a follower of Christ, you represent other Christ followers. Think about it, what you're representing, how
Yeah. Think
you're
about the
coming across. So, are you
yeah.
just that angry guy in a concert yelling about everyone should shut up, or are you expressing love? Are you, you know, what would Jesus do
Yeah.
in these
Think about the Big
instances?
C church.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's not something we often do because, like you said, we're so separated,
We are.
different,
Our our devices have divided us.
our abominations. Oh,
Our
sorry, did I say
ideologies have become our idolatry. Our entertainment has emancipated. Our faith and discipline has disappeared.
Is that a quote?
That's a quote from Douglas Dunbar.
Oh, yeah.
That sermon, I'm telling you, people, go listen to it.
Okay, we'll
Go
post it in
listen
our
to it.
Discord for sure. Well, we did
Yeah.
already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we did. It's there, which is a good reminder. Join our Discord. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking
this is
that
yeah, we
what
had a
we
good
should.
conversation about that Thursday.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
posted some questions about what's been going on Twitter, and we've heard some really cool stuff from people. They posted different viewpoints and were civil, and
Hmm.
we probably disagree on a lot of things, but that's okay. We're not making it personal or calling anyone out or calling him well, what's the NIV say? Rocka, empty head instead of idiot. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't call someone
Ask Mike about that. He's
yo
got some good
empty
names.
head. Yeah, Mike Magnus. If you're listening to
Mike
this,
Magnus. Zippy. If you find
Zippy
him on our
Waldorf,
Discord, his
he
name is
needs
Zippy.
to give us a breakdown. So if he'll listen to this, he'll
Yeah.
do it. I believe in him.
Oh
What is that word, idiot?
yeah. That word Raka. Yeah.
Rocka.
He actually. Yeah, I did watch his sermon on this passage, and he broke it down, and I'm like, those are some good names. It's like, and now I'm feeling deeply convicted.
I'm convicted, but it's funny, and I want to use all these.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to have a little card in my car
Yeah, yeah.
right on the
And
dash. No, I'm not. I'm doing better.
and
Um,
actually, what we should do in our Discord is actually like the week before we're going to be videoing because we do these every other week. Um, We should post up our passage that we're going to be doing. We can have a week-long discussion
Hmm.
before we actually go in, and then we
Yeah,
can
I do
actually
it a
go
little.
and
I should do it a little sooner. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
do
and
that from
then
now on.
yeah, that way we can even if you've got a great quote or something like that, I'll read it out.
Hmm.
We'll do that here on the podcast
Oh, for sure. So yeah,
because
we'll do
we
that.
want
We'll
more people to
give
join
them
in
a
the
week.
conversation.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
isn't just about us.
no,
It's
and
about
that's that.
regular everyday people by the power of the Holy Spirit working through stuff, sharpening each other, and making their lives more about Jesus. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if you're famous, I'll let you in. But don't think you're going to be treated special.
It'd
I'm
be
kidding.
great to have all sorts of viewpoints, and we're sort of
Yes.
getting that in the Discord. So
Yeah, I really like that. So,
yeah,
in order to find that Discord, if you follow us on Twitter, there I share it there often. But wherever you see a podcast, whether it's in Apple or in uh, Spotify, there are links there to the Discord and to the Twitter. So there's no excuse. I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm tired of it. I'm kidding. But we're reaching, I don't know, I'm going to share one little thing. Um, Places, listeners. So 49% Canada, the States is 41%, but then the rest of the smaller numbers, we have people in Germany, Brazil, the Philippines, Indonesia, and India
oh nice.
that have listened to this. So why do we do this? Not because we think it's cool to be on TV, not because we're making loads of money, not because it's just a secret way to become famous on the internet. We feel this is the Great Commission for us. This is how we share the love of Jesus. One of the ways. We share the light of Jesus at work. We share the light of Jesus in our families, in our churches, and other places. And when I go to Walmart, I try to make someone's day. And I gave the pizza guy a $7 tip today. And
Oh nice.
said, good job. I know your job's hard. Just something encouraging. I didn't say Jesus at all. But I think that's, to me, that's fulfilling the Great Commission. And this is how we're doing it. And it's going around the world. So,
Awesome.
like the videos, share the videos on your medias, things like that. Not because we need you to share it, because you want to spread the gospel. And there's other ways. And if you don't, it won't hurt us. And I'm not trying to gain followers, like I said. But click on those links, get in the Discord, because we want your opinions and your ideas to be a part of this. It's not just us two guys. I mean, we could talk forever, but we need more content to be balanced. We need some opinions. And we
That's
need
right.
more females. Right now, it's mostly dudes. I want to hear what the ladies think.
Yeah, let's get some different perspectives
Yeah, more
out
perspectives,
there.
the
'Cause,
better.
yeah, yeah, and like I
Um,
said, I'll share them. I'll share them on here. I'll try to do it in the best way possible. So
oh, for sure.
yeah, make this a community of more than just two. That way, that way, if you do share something in the Discord and then it's getting shared out here, you know that you're being heard, right? Because I'll be honest, I'm not the best at responding to a lot of things. I do a lot of trolling. Um, that's my
Lurking. We
introverted
call it
self.
lurking in the internet world,
Oh, okay,
which is
lurking.
okay in the
Okay,
background. Yeah, in the
okay,
Twitch
okay.
universe, you lurk,
Yeah, and a lot of times it's
and it's
because
okay.
I
It's
don't
totally
have a lot of
legit.
time.
Yeah, it's totally legit. I don't have time to engage the chat, so I'm just watching your stream.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
We're cool with lurkers too.
that's right. Yeah,
So yeah, I'm not trying to guilt anyone. If you want to lurk and we'll just listen to the podcast and don't tell anyone, that's fine. As long as you make your life more about Jesus, I'm cool with that.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So there you go. Now I was pressuring. I was being a bully. Dang me.
yeah.
Also, there's email. So what if you want to be totally secretive about it? You have a question. You say, Al, when are you going to cut your beard? You can ask me that on our email. moreaboutjesus21@gmail.com. So there's that option. Again, you could be the first person to send me an email. And did you give away that coaster yet? We had that weird Hudster giveaway. See, still
It's
there.
still here.
Still there.
Nobody's answered
It's
the
up
email
for
yet.
grabs.
Nobody's sent your first mail. And you know what? If somebody does email, I will personally sign this, and then I will somehow get Alan to sign it, and we will send it to you.
Yeah, you send it to me, and then I'll send it to them. Anywhere in the world, even the Philippines or India.
First email.
That might be expensive.
Might be expensive.
I'll sell
right.
all my dice thrown up there, then I could do it. I can afford it. So that's it. I think I promoted everything. On you can see the Twitter on our YouTube there, but it's at More About Jesus 3 at Twitter. Also, I have my own Twitter is Alanon68. Daniel's is at Danny Boy Dunbar.
Danny Boy Dunbar.
He's there once in a while, but I'm sort of that's my only media, so I'm Mr. Twitter right now, which is cool because I can ban stuff and not worry about it. But Discord's my favorite because I can turn off the trolls. I just say goodbye. Anyway, anything else we want to say? I think we got it.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. I'll just,
So, my name is Al Martins. And
my name is Daniel Dunbar.
And next time we'll be back to talk more about Jesus.
And we'll try to nail that outro a little bit.
No, it was okay. We're getting there. It's our thing.
We are good.
Messing up the outro is our thing.
That's right. As long as we nail the intro, we're good.
As long as Jesus is the last word.
Yes.
There you go.
So, yes, thank you all for watching. And we're all trying to be a little bit more like Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And you're welcome to join us. Amen.
Absolutely. Amen.